and thank you for attending the lectures. I know it's quite boring during the lockdown, and you all must be tired listening all the lectures every day. But there's no solution. We have to continue with it. So, in the last 3 to 4 lectures, we have started with the root canal procedures. Of those you have attended, we have started with the Endodontic Instruments. I'll just brush up through the previous part and then we'll continue the further part, okay? So, in the Endodontic Instruments, we have seen the classification of Endodontic Instruments according to Grossman and according to the ISO, okay? So, the Grossman's classification, give me a moment, give me a moment. Uh, yes. So, according to Grossman, there are 4 types. Grossman has classified the instruments according to the function. Okay, so what are the functions of the instrument? So he has classified according to it: exploring, debriding, cleaning and shaping, and obturating. So everybody, if you are having a notebook, please mention it, because this is usually asked as a long question or a short question in your final exams. Okay. So classification of endodontic instruments can be asked as a short note or a long note, and you have to give this 2 classification according to Grossman and according to the ISO. So Grossman has classified into 4 types: exploring, debriding, cleaning and shaping, and obturating. Okay. So in exploring, the instruments are smooth broaches and endodontic explorers. Okay, so these 2 are used to locate the canal orifices. Then second is the debriding or the extirpating instruments. In this are the barbed broaches, which are used to extirpate the pulp from the pulp canal and remove the foreign materials. Okay, so barbed broaches are used for debriding or extirpating. Third is the cleaning and shaping. In this, we use reamers and files to clean and shape the canals. Okay. And fourth is the obturating materials. For obturation, we use pluggers, spreaders, and lentillospirals. Okay. So I am repeating once again. Grossman has classified the endodontic instruments into 4 types: exploring, debriding, cleaning and shaping, and obturating. Then coming to the second classification of the endodontic instruments given by ISO. In this, there are again 4 groups. Okay, first was the classification by the use or the function of the instrument. Second is according to the uh, the manufacturing or the physical shape of the instrument. First is group 1, that is hand use only, and this examples are the K files and H files and the brooches. Okay, then hand pluggers and spreaders, all this which are used by hands, no other machine is attached to the instrument. So in this group 1 is hand use only. So we have already discussed about the files and the reamers and the brooches. All this come under the group 1. Okay. Then under the group 2, engine driven latch type. In this, the instruments are similar to group 1, just that they are attached to a they have a latch type thing so that they can be inserted into the hand piece. I'll show you the picture. See, these are the engine driven latch type. This latch, these are group 1. Okay, there is no latch. You can see in the picture there's no latch in group 1. In group 2, there is a latch, so that, see, you can make out this latch. This can be inserted into the electronic handpiece, or you can say the quadrangle handpiece. Third group is engine-driven latch-type drills or reamers. Now, in the examples in the group 3 are gauge, Glidden, piezo reamers. Okay, the difference between the group 2 and group 3, these are also latch-type. Just that the entire reamer is fabricated from a single metal latch. Okay, and there's no differentiating thing between the handle or the shaft. See, this is a complete one thing. a monotonous thing. This is the gauge leader and this is the piezo remote. So these two things come under group 3. This engine driven latch type but are fabricated from a single metal. These are group 2. Okay. Now the head is different and the shaft is different. Okay. Coming to the fourth type is the root canal points. In this, examples are the gutta percha points and the silver points in the paper points. I hope you all must have seen them practically. What are the gutta percha points, silver points, and paper points? Okay. If not, we'll be covering in the theory lectures. Okay. Coming to the instruments used for initial examination. Now, when we start the root canal procedures, what are the various instruments used for the initial examination? Okay, this includes the mirror, front surface mirror, endodontic explorer, excavators, and endodontic locking pliers. So these are the instruments used for initial examination: mirror, explorer, excavators, and pliers. Now coming to, once you have done the initial examination of the root of the tooth for which you are doing a root canal, then you need the instruments used for access cavity preparation. In this, we have the rubber dam and the access burrs. Now you must be attending various seminars in which you must have gone through this word rubber dam. Okay, rubber dam is a thing which will cover. See, this is the rubber dam. If you have not seen it, this is the rubber dam. In this, the basic advantage of this is you are not in direct contact with the patient's oral mouth. Only the tooth you are working on is exposed to the dam. Okay, you are not in direct contact with the patient's oral cavity. Hence, this is very beneficial for working during the COVID times. Everybody is using rubber dam for the isolation from the oral cavity. Getting? So for access cavity preparation, you have to put the rubber dam and then use this burrs for access preparation. We have seen the diamond burrs and the carbide burrs in the last lectures. These are the diamond burrs, cylindrical burrs, and this is the tapered diamond non-end cutting burrs. You can see in this picture the end is non-cutting. There are no diamond points attached to the end. Hence, the tip is safety. You won't cut the pulpal floor during the access cavity preparation. These are again tungsten carbide burrs. You can see these are diamond. They're small diamond particles which are attached to a metal shaft. Okay, and this is a complete thing. There are no points, diamond points. You can see these are carbide burrs. Okay, the cross cut and dome shape. They're non-tapered and non-end cutting. Okay, coming to the small round burrs, we have seen this in the last lecture with the long shank, short shank, small diameter, long diameter. Okay, so we have covered now instruments used for initial examination, then for the access cavity preparation. Now coming to the next step of cleaning and shaping the pulp space. So what are the instruments used for cleaning and shaping the pulp space? It includes various hand instruments. Again, the hand instruments will cover the K files, the H files, the reamers, etc. Okay, and then the rotary instruments. If you have not heard, we'll see about the rotary instruments today. 90% of the root canal procedures today are done with the rotary instruments. Gone are the days when we used to do root canal with hand instruments. Now we have advanced a lot. So rotary instruments have come up. There are n number of files in the market produced every day. New inventions are taking. So you cannot like be behind without not knowing the rotary instruments. So after hand instruments, we'll be covering the rotary instruments. Then the instruments used for exploration of the canal orifices, instrument for exploration of the canal, instrument for irrigation, and then determining the length of the root of the tooth, and then the measuring instruments, the gauges, and the stands. Okay. Now coming to the hand instruments, these are the files. The K files have been covered in the last lecture. We are just brushing up through this. The ISO standard size of the K file starts from 6 number till 140 number. Okay. Color coding is given to identify the size of the file of the tip. Okay. So this 6 number represents the size of the tip. of the file. It consists of 6 colors. Okay, I think you are able to make out the colors or no, I don't know. The color is not visible properly here. So just want to revise, the 6 number file is pink color, the 8 number file is gray colored, and the 10 number file is purple colored. Okay, you have to remember all these things because it's a very, very basic thing for root canal procedure. Okay, so 6 number file is pink colored, the 8 number file is gray colored, and the 10 number file is purple colored. Okay, these three files are used for making the patency of the canal. That is to these are the first files to be introduced in the canal. Never introduce larger number files or will create a ledge in the canal. Like you can spoil the procedure before entering the canal. So always use the small number files, either 8 or 10, while starting with the root canal shaping, cleaning and shaping. Okay. So 6, 8 and 10, pink, gray and purple, and from 15 onwards, from 15 to 40, the color coding is same for the next files. So I mean to say 15 number file is white color, 20 is yellow, 25 is red, 30 is blue, 35 is green, and 40 is black. So this white, yellow, red, blue, green and black, this sequence is repeated again in the group 2, that is from 45 to 80. Okay, from 15 to 60, the file advances by 5 each. Okay, see, I'm repeating this again so that you can understand this. Okay, this is very, very big, basic. You need to know this. From 15 to 60, file advances by 5 units. From 60 onwards, the file advances by 10 units. From 60, it's 70, then 80, then 90, and the highest file you get is 140 number. Okay, so these are the groups. Group 1 consists of 15 to 40 files, and the color coding will be white, yellow, red, blue, green, and black. Same will be repeated. White, yellow, red, blue, green, black. For group 1, group 2, and group 3. Okay. I am not going to the details of the K reamer and all. K, this file, the difference between the files and reamers is usually asked as a short notes near final exams. Okay. So just to make sure that you are very well through the files and the reamers. I am rushing down to Rotary Files because the hand files we have covered in the last lecture. Now in this file there are nickel hand files, there are nickel titanium files come up. So these files are made with nickel titanium alloys which are more flexible. They have um, memory benefits, that is they can they can come back to their original position even after getting bent, which is not the case with the stainless steel files. Okay, they are 2 to 3 times more elastic. Remember, this nickel titanium alloys can also be asked as a short note. The difference between the nickel titanium files and the stainless steel files. Okay, so the advantages of nitrile files are these are 2 to 3 times more elastic and are more flexible than the stainless steel files. They have superior resistance to fracture. They do not fracture easily. Okay, they have shape memory, so they do not fracture easily. They can retain the shape of the curved canals. They can retain the shape of the curved canals, undergo large amount of elastic deformation. The disadvantage is that the cutting efficiency is only 60% as compared to the stainless steel files. So the files, the nitrile files are less efficient in cutting as compared to the stainless steel files, which does not give indication before wear. Okay. These are the greater taper nitrile hand instruments. Okay, well, we have seen the K files and the H files and the reamers, which are just 2% in taper. Now, this pro taper hand instruments, once you clear with your final exams and you start with your clinical work during the internship, you are supposed to do root canal with the hand instruments and the pro taper hand instruments, the greater taper instruments. Okay, so these are the pro taper hand instruments which has greater taper. You can see the bulk of the file. Okay, it's little thicker. Okay, than these files. Okay, Then these files. Can you see the thickness of these files and the thickness of this file? Okay, so this is like in different tapers. Okay, 4, 6, 8, and 10%. These are, if you ask me why is this 0.04? So this is in percent of 100%, it is 4% taper. Of 100%, it is 6%, and so on. Okay, 4, 6, 8, and 10. This is a pro taper. Now these are all hand instruments. Now coming to the rotary instruments. Now this rotary instruments are what the basic difference is, there is a latch as we have seen in the group 2 classification given by ISO. Given by ISO. So give me a moment. Give me a moment. Hmm. So now these instruments, they have this rotary instrument. They have a latch type. Okay, these latch type instruments, which can be attached to any of the hand pieces. Okay, there are various hand pieces available. You hope you have seen the X Smart. Okay, which is generally used for the rotary instrumentation. So these instruments are to be inserted into the handpiece and then you can use it. So these are the handpieces. See, you can see the handpiece. This is the head, this is the shaft, and this is the handle. And the instruments are fitted into the latch type, into the groove of the head. Okay. See, this is the area where the files are to be inserted. The file inserted like this. These are the gyromatic handpieces. Okay, so these files which do not have the latch type can be inserted into this. We usually do not use this. We use the Endo Motor. Okay, this is the recent Endo Motor. These are slow speed. These are high speed handpieces, and these are the slow speed handpieces. There's a very recent one. This is the Tri Auto ZX handpiece. In this, there is the root apex locator attached, and also the motor, electronic motor, for which we are from which we are going to do the rotary instrumentation. Gauge leader again come into the rotary instruments. These are the gauge leader. They come in the box of, this was also discussed in the last lecture, they come in the box of 6. Okay, they can you see the rings on the shafts and the handle, sorry. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. The number indicates the tip diameters, starting from zero point 0.5 to 1.5 millimeter. Okay, so the piezo rimmer with the gauge leader with the one ring is having a diameter of zero point 0.5, and one with the 6 rings is having a diameter of 1.5. Okay, see the closer look of the gauge leader. It has the safety tip at the end. This is the piezo rimmer, which is most often used in the, that this was the gauge leader and this is the piezo rimmer, which is most often used in preparing the coronal portion of the root canal. Okay, which receives the post and core. It is usually not used during the routine root canal procedure, but yes, gauge leader is used for enlarging the orifice of the root canal. So these are the rotary files. You can see the design of the files. They have the latch at the end, which is to be inserted into the endodontic motor. Okay, these are the various files with various tapers. This is the profile. You can see this is the neck. This is the head, the shaft, and this is the handle. Okay, this is the neck, this is the head, this is the neck, and this is the handle, which consists of the latch type. Okay, the tip is non-cutting tip of the profile series, and it is U-shaped in cross section. If you can see, this is U-shaped in cross section. Um, Now you don't have to remember each and every file system. Just remember the basic pro taper, which can be asked as a short note. Okay, so pro taper, this you can see. The basic series are comprised of 3 shaping and 3 finishing instruments. First is the shaping file X. Then there are 2 files S1 and S2. These are shaping files. First is the X, then which is used for enlarging the orifices. Then the next two files are S1 and S2, which are used for shaping, and then comes the F1, F2, and F3. These three are finishing files. I want you to remember this basic thing because flow taper were the first rotary, first hand or rotary instruments with greater taper. Okay, so these are the basic files you can say. So it consists of 6 files: shaping file X, shaping file 1 and 2, that is S1 and S2, and finishing files F1, F2, and F3. The triangular section of pro taper is the cross section of the pro taper is triangular, which has high cutting efficiency. You can see from the picture all the 3 corners are sharp, which which gives a very high cutting efficiency. Then the variable helix angle and the guiding tip, closure look of the file. The file X, shaping file SX, you can say, is 19 mm. S1 and S2 come in various lengths of 21 and 25, and the F1, F2, F3 also come in various lengths of 21, 20, 21 and 25. The difference between these S1 and S2 is the cutting of the F, F1 is little lesser than S1, because the basic shaping of the canal is done by the shaping files. Okay, and then the final finishing part is done by the finishing file. So the fluids are a little blunt, you can say, with the finishing files. See how to use the files now. You know what are the rotary files, what are hand files, how are they used. These are to be used with the endodontic motors. Hand files can be used manually, but where and how to proceed with the files. So this starting with S1 is used to prepare the coronal third of the canal. This portion of the canal is prepared by the S1 file. Once you have located the canal, you can either use SX, which is the uh, which is used for enlarging the orifice, or you can directly use the S1 file. So it is used for the preparation of the coronal third of the canal. Then S2 is used to prepare the middle part of the canal. Getting S1 for this part of the canal, S2 for this part of the canal, and all the finishing files are used for the apical third of the canal. Apical part, this is apical third, middle third, and coronal third. Okay, so S1 for the coronal third, S2 for the middle third, and F1, F2, and F3 for the apical third. Is used to prepare the apical part of the canal. Okay, see a more closer look. This is called the silicon stock, which is 1.5 mm thick. It's a guiding tip, and this is the shaft. For this is the 13 mm shaft for better access with the posterior tip. Okay. Now coming to the ultrasonics. Okay. Now we have seen the endo motor with the rotary instruments. Ultrasonics are also used for getting the access and for preparing the canals, but with ultrasonic tips. Okay, these are the ultrasonic tips. There are various tips available from various companies, satellite tips, ET tips, etc. So these are not used for shaping. These are just for finishing, you can say, once you have prepared the canals, because these are not made up of nitrile. They're made up of stainless steel, and these are sturdy. If you bend them, they will break off. Okay, so these are used just for finishing, you can say, for activating the irrigant into the root canal. Or if you are not able to locate one of the canals, then these are files are used for troughing of the dentin. Okay, if some dentin is lodged over the orifice, this is used for removing. So this won't harm your pulpal floor, it will just remove the dentinal part. These tips, you can see, these are so sharp. Okay, so these tips are used for very precise openings. Now coming to the instruments used in cleaning and shaping of the pulse, for exploring of the canal orifices. These are the endodontic explorers, that is the DG16s, and for magnification, there are the surgical telescopes or loops, you can say, oroscopes and microscopes. We are not going into the details of all this, just I'll show you picture of the loops and the microscopes, what are those. And then there are these micro openers and cutting explorers. Okay. So these are the micro debrider, micro opener, and these are the loops. Okay, now these loops have developed a lot. These come with the LED lights over it, so the light is directly focused onto the canal, and you can see a broader and even more clear picture of the canals. Okay, for doing a very excellent root canal, you can say, or for locating the missed canals, usually MB2 in the upper molar is little difficult to locate. So loops are one of the very essential factors. Or with the use of loops, you can locate the mesio of MB2 very easily. Okay, so this is the picture you can see with a 4.5x zoom in it, and the working average working distance is also reduced. See, you can see the dentist working on the patient with the very different. Otherwise, we all of us, literally go into the patient's mouth and see where the canal is. But with loops, it becomes very easy. Okay. And these are the surgical microscopes. These are very ergonomic. Ergonomic, I am not talking about economic. It is ergonomic. Ergonomic is like the posture you sit. There are so many complaints of the musculoskeletal. Dentists are suffering from so many of musculoskeletal disorders. Microscopes maintain your posture, gives you a clear visibility, and there are a lot many benefits with using microscopes. Okay, then it is used for retreatment. Whenever there are separations of files in the canal, microscopes are of great use for removing the files or for bypassing it. Okay, so these are the various microscopes. Now these are the Orifice Openers, hand operated and the engine driven. Okay. For the exploration of the canals and the pathfinders files and bending tools at Endo Blender and Flexo Bend. No need to remember all this, just showing you a picture so that at some point of the time, if this word clicks you, you can at least remind that, okay, this was, you have seen it somewhere. So that's why I'm making you see all this. These are the Endo Flexo Bender. You have to just insert a file into this, and then the file gets easily and properly bended. You can see the nice curvature of the files. Okay, you can use your fingers also to bend the files. Uh, but this is, one of the bending tools available in the market, Flexo Bend. Now coming for the instruments for irrigation, there are Pro Rins, Maxi Pro, Monojet Enderontic needles, and the Stropco irrigator. Pro Rins, Maxi Pro, Monojet Enderontic needles, and the Stropco irrigator. I hope you all are listening. Vaishnavi, Rani, Rahul, Sneha, Nikita, Saurabh, Nikita, there are two Nikitas, I guess, and Pallavi, Mayur, Prajakta. Good to see so many of you, because these are like very important lectures, and I can understand that yes, lectures are boring on the webinars, and your staff is coming uttering something which you are not understanding. But since we do not know when the COVID times are getting over, so let's make the best use of all this. Good to see so many of you all, and hope you all keep reading at home also, so that whatever we are trying to teach you, you get a proper understanding. Otherwise, your time would be wasted. That's it. Like, we are not at loss, that you will be at loss. So we don't want you to be at loss, and that's why this online lectures are there. Please give me few suggestions if you want me to improve in something. I'm trying my best so that you all can get the maximum benefit of it. Can you all switch on your videos if possible so that it will be a good communication between you all and me? If possible, just switch on your videos, everyone, if possible. I think nobody is there. No issues. So coming to the instruments for determining the length of the tooth. Irrigations where we have these things, Torins, Maxi Pro, Monojack Endodontic needles and the Stockholm Irrigator. These are the side vented needles. You can see the irrigate delivery is from the side. And this is the Stockholm Irrigator with the needle attached at the front and through which the irrigation is carried out. Now coming to the instruments used for determining the length of the tooth, we have these apex locators which have the advantages of accuracy, easy and fast reduction of exposure to radiations, and perforations can be identified with the use of apex locators. Okay, so these are the what do you have to do? Insert the file into the canal. Then this is the sensor to be attached to the file, and the other will be attached to the cheek of the patient. Okay, see, so this is the fourth generation type. In this, you will get to see, you can see this marking 1, 2, 3. So, and this is at the apex. So, once you put the file, there will be the marking like this, like 0.5 mm at the apex, zero point 0.5 from the apex, 1 mm from the apex, 2 mm, 3 mm, and so on. Okay. So, these are the apex locators. It is used to determine the length of the canal. Now coming to the measuring instruments, gauges and stands, these are the endodontic stops, endo block and endodontic organizer. These are the endodontic stops for measuring the length of the canal. Once you have identified, you adjust the length of the uh, file with the use of this stopper. These are silicone stoppers. Okay, these are also made up of Teflon, available in 5 different color coding according to the sizes. You can see the thickness of the silicone stops. These are medical grade silicone. Okay, these are radio opaque and these can be sterilized by any of the method like autoclaving, etc. And they're usually pre-attached to the instrument. There's no need to buy this silicone stoppers separately. These are already attached to the files. Now coming to the second thing is the endo block, which is used to measure the. You can see the file, the length of the file or the canal is measured using the file with the stopper and the markings seen on the endo block. This is used by every dentist. Okay. This will give you the accurate measurement of the canals. This is the endo ring, after which like each use of file you can just insert into the sponge. The sponge is it can be replaced or can be autoclaved, and this is usually filled with a hypochlorite. Okay, this ring can be worn into your finger and it makes it easy for the usage. Coming to the last instrument that is used for retrieving of the broken instruments and pros. For retrieving the instruments, we have the Stiglitz Forcep, Macerin kit, and the instrument removal system. And for retrieving pros, we have the PRS system and the ultrasonic tips. Okay, this is the Stiglitz Forcep, which is used for removing the broken file. So, Macerin kit, you can see, is inserted into the canal, and then the upper part is inserted, the file is engaged, and then it is rotated. See, like this, the file is engaged and the upper part is rotated, and then the file is removed. Okay, so these are the instrument IRS system, instrument removal system. See, if the file is here, you can put the IRS into the canal, engage the file, and then push it out of the canal like this. Now coming to the last part, instruments used for obturation of the root canal. It includes instruments to coat the canal and instruments used for different techniques of obturation. That is the lateral condensation, vertical condensation, thermomechanical compaction. We'll be seeing all this in the next part of the lectures. It is used for instrument used to coat the canal are the lentillo spirals. You can see with the spirals you can coat the canal or completely fill the canal with the paste. Okay, there are two types: coiled wire and the twisted blade, designed to be used in slow speed quadrangle handpiece. And instrument used for the obturation of the root canal, it includes instruments to coat the canal, instrument used for different technique, that is the lateral condensation, vertical condensation. Okay, these are the spreaders. It is used for lateral compaction. When you insert the master cone, the spreaders are used. Carbon steel, stainless steel, nickel, titanium available as handheld instruments and the finger held instruments. Handheld are the spreaders, and these are the finger spreaders, and these are used to coat the canals. Okay. Then comes the plugger. It is a tapered and blunt ended instrument whose main component of force is used during a vertical rather than lateral. Then there are these heat carriers, traditional heat carriers. You can see the flame is the tip is heated on the flame, and then it is used to cut the aperture points. Electrical heat carriers are also available. These are the pluggers. See, the electronic heat carrier is like this. It is this system is obturator. In this, what you'll do, you'll insert a gutta percha and a fluid gutta percha. This will heat here at this part, and a fluid thing will come out of the gun. Okay, so that will make the obturation more perfect. You can say these are the pellets available, which is to be inserted into the. These are the gutta percha pellets, which is inserted to the gun, and then the final thing can be sealed off. So this was all about endodontic instruments, right from the diagnosis, examination, and cleaning, shaping, irrigation, then applying the cement, and then obturation. Remember the classification we have learned, classification of instrument, then the difference between the K file and the reamers, that is also usual as long question on pro taper system. You have to mention everything, the D1, the tip diameter, and the handle, shaft, tapers, how are they used, S1, S2, F1, F2, F3, S6, where are they to be used, okay, what are the functions of F1, S1, etc. Everything. Then you might get a question on the obturation techniques also, that will be covered in the next part. Next lecture we will be covering the techniques of the PMP. Okay, this was about the instruments. Once you have the instruments, we can proceed to the next step. Okay, so thank you so much everybody.